guys, welcome to a rather balmy Friday Waffle. It's currently about 9:15 on Friday night, and it is so warm. I mean, us Brits, we like to complain about the weather, we moan about the weather all the time, but see when you get a couple of days of like weather like this, we're not made for it. We're absolutely not made for it at all. I mean, there's no air. There's no cool air at all. Obviously no air conditioning, well, at least not in my house anyway. So it makes for a very, very uncomfortable existence. But anyway, shouldn't moan because I am on holiday. I broke up tonight and I'm off for a week. My daughter, she's away to Amsterdam with the school on Monday, and me and the wife are planning to go up north, maybe up to Oban and Inverary for a few days, just to kind of get away, rather than, sitting about in the house. So, yeah, what can I say? If you've watched the news at all, you would have obviously seen the big news, certainly in the UK, was the atrocity that was the suicide bombings in Manchester. I'm not going to get into a political debate because I learned a long time ago that there's no point in putting your opinions out there because everybody's different. But people get terrorism mixed up with religion, and it's got nothing to do with religion at all. I mean, there was somebody posted on Facebook and they were going in about, the Muslims and I just put in, I says, my wife is actually Catholic, but she did not have anything to do with the IRA bombings in the 70s and 80s. So, it's got absolutely bugger all to do with religion. It's just monsters. That's all they are. They don't have any respect they don't have a shred of humanity towards anybody, and that was evident. Apparently, I heard in the news, and whether this is true or not, apparently they targeted that concert because they were against young girls having fun. So if that's what they stand for, that people having fun is wrong, then I just don't get it at all. So anyway, I mean, if any of the people watching this video happen to know anybody that was involved in it, I mean, my heart goes out to everybody. It's just absolutely awful. But the thing is, you absolutely cannot give in to these people. Let's be honest, the chances of that happening to an individual is absolutely minute. There's probably more chance of getting struck with lightning, so you absolutely should not ever give in to these people. The Great Manchester Run is actually on Sunday, and I'm delighted to see that they're going ahead with it. If the day we start not living our life because of scum like that is the day they win. So, we just need to stick our fingers up to these people and say, we will not let you beat us. They'll get their comeuppance. Absolutely. So, that's enough about that. What else? What have I got down there? Because I'm on holiday, I've had a really, really mad busy week, but I managed to kind of get through everything, which is great. It's always quite satisfying at work when you're switching your computer off on a Friday night, knowing you've done virtually everything you wanted to get done. So quite pleased with that. This week, I was at my guitar club on Wednesday. I've really not played any games at all, other than making a few videos. What I'm going to try and do is obviously get a few videos made this weekend, so that when I'm away I can still upload as usual, so you guys will still have something to watch. Listen, if anybody's watched my main Miser and Chums Talk Pish, I think it's episode 8, the one I put out at the start of this week with my mate Dave. It's gone down very, very well, which is great. I've got to say, I've been watching Dave's channel, and it's really entertaining. It's the kind of thing that I really, really like. In fact, you know, it's kind of touching on the one topic I was going to talk about there. Dave talks about the stuff that's true to his heart. It means a lot. You can tell it means a lot when he's talking, and that's the kind of thing that I like to do. And I was watching Novabug. He put out a video. He's kind of, what he said was he feels his channel is kind of starting to stagnate a wee bit. He feels it's not moving forwards, and he's wondering what the best way to take his channel. And he's even talking about starting a second channel. Now I just posted saying that everybody that makes content on YouTube, we all get to a stage at times where it just feels like you're stuck in sort of Groundhog Day. It's the same thing, and I've gone through that phase myself, and that is why I do try my best to try and keep my content fresh. Not even so much for you guys, but more for myself, because if you're constantly just making the same thing over and over and over again, it just becomes dull and uninteresting. And I think when the person making the content gets bored, that's going to come over to the viewer. So it's important that you enjoy what you're talking about. Now, somebody commented to Chris saying that if you want to get big views and big subscriber numbers, you need to try and make your content USA friendly. In other words, if you're just going to constantly talk about old games like Manic Miner on the Spectrum, you're never going to appeal to the mass market. And that is the reason why this channel that you're watching right now will never ever become big. You know, I'm not going to... I mean, I do cover stuff like Atari and that kind of stuff, so I'm sure some of these videos do get more kind of views, but you know, when you're when you're making a video about some game programmed in Middlesbrough that came out in 1983 for the Spectrum, people in the US have got no, or the majority of people have got no concept of what it is you're on about, and probably got no interest in it either. But you know, the point is, I always think that you've got to make content that you find interesting, that you want to talk about. If it gets to the stage where you're making content to try and appeal to the mass market, unless you're interested in it, I think that will come over to the people watching. You know, you've got to have the passion, you've got to have the love for the subject matter that you're talking about. And if you're going to go along and try and make content just to try and get numbers, then to me, you know, it's kind of, I mean, obviously it's the wrong attitude. It's not something I would want to do. I mean, it all depends what you want to do with your YouTube channel. Where do you want to see it? I have got absolutely no illusions of grandeur with my channel. I'm delighted the way it's gone. I mean, I would probably say in the last year, the popularity of it has grown quite a lot. You know, it really has. It's amazing. The support, the support that I've been getting has just been incredible. But it's one of these things. Do you make content for the people watching, or do you make it for you? I'm always going to go for me. I mean, I do make videos sometimes where I enjoy the video, I enjoy making it, I enjoy even watching it, but I can see that other people are probably thinking, what the hell is this? I mean, a few of the videos that I've made, I mean, one of them that I was strangely surprised at how popular it was my the history of the Commodore 64 tape loader. I'll put a wee link up above actually. It was just one of these daft thoughts that came to my mind, and I thought I'm going to document that, and it's actually been quite popular. You know, so you can never ever tell. I mean, Dave and I mentioned that in the chat we had earlier on this week about you can spend a long time putting together a video, and it might get 100 views, something like that. Then you can stick together. You can throw together another video that will take you 10 minutes to make, and it will get, you know, 5 times that. You can never ever tell. But I don't make it for big numbers. I make it because I want to enjoy it, and I think I've got enough people that watch the channel that know what I'm about. They know the kind of stuff that I put out, and they know if they're going to keep watching it, they're going to keep getting entertained, because I they know what I am. They know what they're going to get when they watch the Main Meister channel. So yeah. But anyway, talking about my mate Dave and the kind of stuff that he puts out, that was kind of the stuff that I put out in the very beginning. Now, was it Dave told me I'm almost at 1,000 videos, which is just mind numbing. Can you imagine making 1,000 videos? I mean, I was maybe for the first year, I was putting out a video every day, and then I quickly realised that it was too much, and so I tried to be a bit more creative about the kind of stuff that I was putting out. But yeah, I've been going a long time, and I mean, in fact, this is crazy. I actually made a video, probably one of the worst games. Is this one of the worst games ever? And it was a game called Grid Start by Anko on the Commodore Amiga. Now, I remember making a video of it before, and I did check my list, my probably the worst game ever playlist, and I couldn't find it. So I made another video, and then a few people said to me, "You've already did this video." So I checked it again, and sure enough, I've actually made the identical video twice. But you know what? It seems to have been more popular second time round. So you know, everyone's happy. Everyone's a winner, as they say. But the point I'm trying to make is there's a lot of content that I did in the early days when I maybe only had 100 subscribers, and I think I could probably, rather than just sticking out the same video, bumping it and putting it back out again, I think there's scope for me to revisit and to redo these videos. So to kind of to be influenced by what Dave's done, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a very, I'm going to say a very brief, it'll probably run for half an hour. I'm going to talk about my first experiences of computers, what my first computer was, how I got into it. So yeah, if you've already seen it, you can exit this video now and go and watch another video. But yeah, to me, I'm trying to think, my very first experience of seeing a video game, it would probably be, I don't know what year it would be, 1977, something like that. My family and I, we went to Edinburgh Airport. It was called Turnhouse Airport, and it was a Friday night. I'm sure it might not have been a Friday night. It probably would have been, because you generally didn't go anywhere during the week. You know, it was always at the weekend or on a Friday night, because you didn't have school the following day. But my dad took us through to Turnhouse Airport to watch the planes land. Now that was a treat for us. We actually literally, in Turnhouse Airport, you went in, up the stairs, and you could actually watch planes land, and that's what we did. My dad had one of these one of these little radios you could tune in, you could hear the pilots talking. It was a 70s thing, obviously. I was going to say it's like CB radio. Well, CB radio, you talk back. This thing, you just purely listen to it. So we'd be standing up there watching the planes land, and you would hear the pilot talking, you know, asking if he could land and that kind of stuff. But I can always remember myself, my sister, and my mum and dad, we were walking through the terminal, and it's not like Edinburgh Airport. This was a far smaller one before Edinburgh Airport opened. And I remember seeing this large cabinet thing, and I'm like, what is that? And I went up to it, and well, it was Pong. It was Pong. I'd never seen it before. And I kind of stood for a few moments with my sister, just looking at this thing, and I think it did have a kind of demo mode. You saw the bat moving up and down, and the ball obviously going back and forwards. And then shortly my mum and dad like, come on, let's go. So that was it. I'd never, I saw it, but to be honest, I soon forgot about it. You know, it wasn't something that stuck in my mind. But then I can't remember the timeline we're talking about here. But I'm going to say shortly after it, maybe a few months, 6 months, whatever, I went through to see my granny again. Friday night, Saturday, something like that. Went through to Edinburgh to see my granny and grandpa, or granddad as I called him. Granda, I should say. And we were having a cup of tea, chocolate biscuits as you do. And then my granny said to my granda, go on Jimmy, go and let Alan see what you've got. So he disappeared from the living room into the bedroom. And then he reappeared shortly after it with this box, and he pulled it out and he plugged it in, and it instantly caught my eye. It was the most orange you could ever imagine. I'm not talking orange, I'm talking orange. It's like again orange, not purple. It's like fireball orange, and it turned out to be a Binatone TV game. I think that's what they called it. You plugged it into the TV, and it basically let you play. There was tennis, or squash as they called it, squash practice, which was 3 walls and the bat at the bottom with the ball going up and down. It was a square actually. Then there was tennis, which was obviously 1 bat. That was the pong that we all remember. Then there was football, which was like tennis, except you also had another bat further up, which was like the attacker or striker. So you basically had two bats, 2 against 2, and you had to try and score. I think that was it. I didn't have the. There was a fancier one that had a light gun. Not the light. Yeah, it was a light gun. I suppose it was a kind of light gun. So anyway, my granda set this thing up, and we started playing it, and obviously the noise was very, very distinctive. And then of course that was it. I was hooked, sitting playing this all night. Then it came to the time Mum and Dad said, right, come on, let's go, need to get our jackets on. And I'm like, oh, I want to stay. And then my granda says to me, do you want it? I went, what? He says, do you want to take it home? Oh, yes please. And that was it. That was your granny and grandpa. They were so kind. So that was it. I got to take this TV game home. And now, bear in mind, there was it was a one TV house, or a 1 TV family. None of this, I don't know how many TVs I've got in this house. I've got 2 in this room. I've probably got about 6 or 7 TVs in this house. Back in the 70s, it was 1 TV. Maybe 1 in the kitchen if you were very lucky, but most people had 1 TV, and that was us. We only had the 1. So, because it was only TV, obviously people used it to watch TV, and I had to wait to get like a window of opportunity. So my mum would say, right, you can get on for half an hour, and I plugged this thing in. But then it got to the point where, because the game, the actual graphics were so kind of luminous, that you started to get a bit of like screen burn. So when you turned the TV off and you switched it on, you could still see the bat and the ball. So my mum and dad kind of thought, we're not too happy with this, we're not happy with this. So I wasn't banned for playing it, but I think, I think at that point they had a black and white portable TV in the kitchen. It was just black and white. So I was given that to put in my bedroom, and I connected this TV game thing up to it, which I played a lot. But you know what, even then, back in whatever it was, 77, 78, something like that, I got bored very, very quickly. Yeah, you could say, oh, you should have been, amazed at this, but the games themselves were very limited, especially if you didn't have anyone to play. If you had somebody to play with, absolutely fine, but the only game you could play yourself was squash practice, and it was literally you just hitting the ball, trying not to miss it. So that gets boring pretty damn quick. So then eventually I realised that if I switched it off and on really fast, if you did it often enough, you would sometimes get what I can only describe as looking like a scrolling road. You got the 2 lines kind of either side, and it looked like a kind of racing game. And I ended up doing that just to kind of imagine that this was a racing game I had. I couldn't play it, it was just merely a graphical glitch, but it kind of looked like something out of the arcades. So that was at the point where I was getting bored of it. I was really getting a bit fed up with it. So then, I can't remember again the timelines, so fast forward, I think eventually sold, I didn't sell it, I don't know what happened to it, I think it probably broke. I mean, the little controllers were really flimsy, and I think they probably eventually stopped working. So then after that, I moved on to the, I think, was it before or after? Again, I can't remember exactly. I think I went through my phase of the LCD, or LED I should say, not LCD. LCD is what the TVs are. LED computer games like your Astro Wars, your Galaxy 1000, is it Star Fox? All these kind of Space Invader type games. So I went through a phase of getting a few of these, and again, even, I mean, people talk about Astro Wars with, great love and oh how wonderful it was and it was amazing. Well, again, it was a game that very shortly after getting it, I just thought it's actually quite boring. It looked the part, it looked like Galaxian on the box, but when you actually started playing it, you realise there was only like 5 lanes of action, and it was quite restricted. It was very, very samey. And again, even on the hardest level, it just pretty much became a game of chance. You would just hammer the fire button and just move left and right. So yeah, it became very samey very quickly and I got kind of bored. But that all changed, when it be 1980, 1983, 1982, 1983, I think maybe 1982 possibly. There was a magazine was getting advertised in television, and it was called the Home Computer Course, and it was one of these ones where part 1 was like 50 pence and then every subsequent part was like £1. Nowadays it's like £5.99, and then you've got to build yourself the Millennium Falcon, and you've got to buy it over like 2 years. And in fact, I remember reading something about these things. It actually worked out that something like that, you ended up spending about £3,000 for a model or something. You think, oh, brilliant, I'm getting this to build this for nothing, but the amount of money that you actually pay for these magazines is just extortionate. But anyway, back on track. So this Home Computer magazine, I got it, and I got issue 1, and basically there was the set. I can start. I mean, I've actually got it in there. I'm not going to bother showing you. I can't be arsed. In the centre 2 pages, it had a kind of brief synopsis or mini review, I suppose, good and bad points of every computer that was available at the time. Now it's hard to, for anybody that's maybe 25, 30 years old or younger, you'll probably find it quite hard to believe. But back then, there was maybe about 20 different computers you could buy. There was the Dragon 32, there was the Sword M5, there was the Lynx, there was the Atari 400, the Atari 800, the BBC A, the BBC B, VIC-20, Commodore 64, there was Electron, Einstein, what else was there? There was the ZX81, there was the ZX Spectrum 16K, there was a 48K. Oh, bloody hell, what else? It was the Amstrad wasn't out at that point. So there was a plethora. There was Jupiter Ace. There was what else? New Brain, Tandy, Texas T199, or TI99 I should say. There was all these different systems. Now, it was just before my birthday, and, getting this magazine was like opening my eyes to computers. I'd seen computers at school very briefly, but it was always one of these things that I would never ever get one because they weren't available really for the public. Well, that's how it kind of seemed to me. But this magazine suddenly opened my eyes to the point that, these are available. You can actually buy them, and it had screenshots. I can always remember there was a screenshot of The Hobbit. There was also a screenshot of, what was it? I think it was a chess game. No, a flight simulator on the Spectrum. And suddenly I'm like, oh my god, I would kill for one of these. I would love one of these. So I dropped hints to my mum and dad. I said, look, could I get a computer for my birthday, Christmas, whatever. And my mum and dad, they both worked very, very hard, but we didn't have a lot of spare money. Money was pretty thin in the ground. So they're like, oh, we'll need to see, we'll need to see. And my mum, she was one of these people, she didn't do credit cards or anything like that. My mum didn't even own a credit card. Anything that my mum and dad bought always had to be paid for in cash. So if they wanted to buy like a new suite or a new fridge, they would save up over 2 years and then buy it. So it was going to be the same with my computer. If I was to get a computer, the cash was going to have to be there. So I kind of dropped hints. I said, oh, I'd really like the Spectrum. I mean, the Commodore 64 is great, but it was like £400. So there was no way I was going to get the Commodore 64. So I'd kind of said, oh, I'd really like the Spectrum. That looks great. I think it was the 16K version. So that was kind of it. Then they told me that they were going to go through to a shop called Comet, which was kind of like your sort of Clydesdale, your Laskys, your big electrical sort of retail outlet thing. So they went through to the one in Edinburgh with intent. I think they were going to buy something else, but they were going to get me my computer. So I was stupidly excited until they returned home and they gave the computer that they'd bought, and it wasn't the Spectrum, it was the Texas machine. Now, it was still quite exciting, but in fact it was still very exciting getting this new thing, you know, a computer. Finally I had a computer I could use. There was no games with it, and I mean I was buying computer and video games which used to kind of feature the very odd typing for it, but there was very little software out for it. You know, it just seemed that every game that was out was either the VIC-20 or the Spectrum, and very occasionally you would get a game for the Texas, but I'm talking about very occasionally. Until I decided, right, I need to get myself a game. So I had a look in computer and video games, and there was an advert for a game called Core. And the idea of the game was you were to pilot this bomb, I think it was. It was dropped from the sort of outer space, and you had to pilot the bomb down through the earth, you know, through the clouds, etc., and deep into the Earth's core, destroying the core. It sounded very exciting. It really did. Upon loading the game, it was a mail order, so I sent off for it. I think it was £5.99. It's kind of stuck in my head that. I sent off for it, and a few weeks later, this thing arrived, a tape, and I was like, whoa, computer game, finally got a computer game. Now, it loaded using a standard tape recorder, so I loaded this game, and my excitement soon turned to abject disappointment when I realised what the game was. You basically controlled, I think it was a letter V that you used it, was it the cursor keys or the A and X, something like that. You used the keyboard to control it. You couldn't move up or down, you didn't fire, you merely moved this letter V left and right, and you had to pilot it, control it. I mean, the screen scrolled, I think it was character scrolling, it wasn't pixel, it wasn't like, you know, pixel scrolling, it was like mega jerky. So you had to scroll, you had to control this spaceship, which was a letter V. You had to avoid killer birds, which were letters W, lots of W's, they were killer birds. Then eventually you got it down through the earth and you destroyed, I think it was like a cursor, not a cursor, an asterisk, something like that. All the graphics were merely letters of the alphabet. I mean, that was how bad it was. So I was pretty gutted when I realised just how shit it was. When I looked at the computer magazines and I saw what else was out there, and I'm playing this, quite frankly, god-awful game, which wasn't, even if you typed it in, you'd have been gutted. So that was that. But, you know, that was, it was what it was, as I say. But then things changed a few months later. I think it was September 1983. I was wanting to get a part-time job. I just turned 16, so I was basically legal. I was able to work. I was 16 in October, But my dad, one of his friends' wives was a supervisor at a big department store called Woolco, and apparently they were looking for some part-time staff. So I went up for an interview, and it was basically, when can you start? Excellent. So I started this job in the September 1983. Started collecting shopping trolleys, different bits and pieces. I later graduated onto the till register and what have you, but in the main it was collecting shopping trolleys. So that, it was, I used to work Thursday night, what was it, 5 till 8, 5 till 8 on a Friday, and then I'd work a Saturday, 9 till 2, or whatever it was, 11 till 5, something like that. There's different shifts that you had to work. If you're lucky, you got a Sunday shift, double time. So this opened the door to me, because now I had an income. Before I was reliant 100% on my mum and dad, but now I was able to fund my own things. So the first thing I thought about was, I want to get myself another computer. So fortunately, Wilco it was one of these shops. They literally sold everything. They sold sports equipment, they sold mopeds, scooters, they sold bikes, they sold furniture, they sold women's clothing, they sold food, TVs, fridges, computers, computer games, toys, soft furnishings, bedding, you name it, they sold it. They literally sold everything. Darts, camping equipment, fishing stuff, everything. It was a great shop, really. I used to go up there on Christmas Eve and get all my Christmas presents in one go, all from the same shop. So yeah, they had a computer department, and so of course I used to go up there, early, and I'd stand about and look at this computer, and so I realised then, I thought, I want one of these. Yeah, so that was, things changed. Suddenly I had an income, and I was now able to fund my things. So I'd seen, obviously, the Commodore 64, and I thought, that's the one I want to get. That's the one I want to get. Now, lucky enough, they had what was called, it was called credit. Basically, I got this Commodore 64, and I paid it up. I'm sure it was £12 a month I was paying. So I can't remember how much it was. I think it was £199.99. So I was basically going to be paying this computer up over about, I think it was 18 months, something like that. So I got this computer home. I got 2 games with it. I've got them up there, but I'm not going to bother showing you them. It was Frogger and Crazy Kong by Interceptor Software. So I got the computer home, and again, the problem I had was there was only one TV in the house. There was a black and white portable, the one that I used for the Pong machine, but it just didn't seem that good plugging your computer in a black and white TV. You were completely missing a lot of the colour element to it. And again, my mum would she would say, right, you can get on for half an hour. So I'd put the computer on, but then very shortly after, I would be getting chased off it, so I'd have to return to the black and white TV again. My next purchase, again through credit from Wilco, was a colour TV. It was a P-Y-E, I think it was. Now, that TV absolutely lasted me years. I think I only got rid of it maybe, I don't know, about 10 years ago. I mean, the TV was probably about 20 years old. They obviously made them very, very good back then. But so that was it. So I had my colour TV, had my Commodore 64, but I had a lack of games, distinct lack of games. Obviously games were quite expensive, and you only had a limited budget. Now there was a computer shop in Livingston called Livingston Computer Centre. It was the only place back then that sold computer games. I mean, we're talking before John Menzies, before these big outlets started to stock computer games. So the only place I could get games were either mail order, which I didn't bother with, or from this computer shop. Now, I used to get my wages on a Saturday, and it was always, you got a wee brown envelope with your cash in it. I think I used to get about £12, maybe £15 a week, depending if I did any overtime. And 9 times out of 10, I would buy Zap magazine, and I would read it from front to back several times, and decide what game I wanted. And then on the Saturday after I got paid, the shop used to close at the shop closed at 5:30. I finished my shift at 5 o'clock. So literally as soon as 5 o'clock came, I was out that door, onto my moped, up to Livingston Computer Centre to try and get the game. Sometimes I would get there and it was shut, and that was me. I had to wait a whole week, so I was always absolutely gutted if I missed it. But it was just an amazing thing. You would get into the computer shop and you would stand and you would just look at the row upon row of games and lifting them up and having a look, reading the back, looking at the graphics, you know. And again, I think Dave mentioned this in our sort of chat. I mean, magazines was our internet. There was no such thing as internet. You couldn't go into YouTube and look at a game and see what it was like. So we had to rely on either a friend recommending it, or, you know, just taking potluck, getting a game, seeing what it was like. And, you know, sometimes you were bitterly disappointed. It just really depended. But yeah, it was just, you know, it was that was my first kind of foray into computers. That cemented my love of computer games, getting my Commodore 64. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end that part there now, guys, because I could talk for another 10 hours just about the C64. So that was me getting my first computer. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I said I will maybe do another segment next week. But anyway, listen, I'm kind of dying here because it's so warm. I've got a couple of questions here. I've got 3 questions. Excuse me, and it's kind of getting dark as well. Well, getting dark in this room. Right, Batman, another fine waffle. Great to be able to listen on the move to. If you haven't tackled it before for a possible question for a future waffle, how about the most popular game styles that you just can't get into? For the life of me, I can never get enthusiastic about RPGs no matter how hard I try. I like football but can't stand Football Manager games either. I've tried but they leave me cold. What say you, sir? I'm kind of with you, but I mean, I've never ever really been into RPGs, role-playing games. The only game I can think of that I did enjoy, never completed it, was Link to the Past on the SNES, the Zelda game. Really enjoyed that. I mean, I used to watch Games Master and they were always playing it, and I thought that looks quite amazing. But apart from that, I've tried games over the years. Was it Legend of Valor on the Commodore Amiga? Even stuff like Dungeon Master, that came out in the Amiga, the Atari ST and Amiga. I could never ever get into it. I used to watch people playing it and think that looks like the kind of thing that I would enjoy, but I don't know what it was. It just never clicked. I think I'm too impatient. I prefer my games to be more intense, kind of action, straight in there, shoot 'em ups and that kind of stuff. So I think the fact that my sort of favourite type of game is a shoot 'em up, it's the complete polar opposite of an RPG, I would say. I think that's maybe why I enjoyed Zelda, because it was like real time, so there was some kind of killing things in real time and that kind of stuff. But I've never been an RPG fan. Same with football games, manager games. I did love the original Football Manager on the Commodore 64. Loved that to bits. But I never ever got into, was it Premier Manager? There's various other Championship Manager, I think it was as well. I think the thing for me is I always liked the graphics. I liked watching the football. I liked watching the highlights on Football Manager. Whereas these other games, they did away with the graphics, and a game would literally be over in 10 seconds. And that, to me, that killed it. The big appeal for me with these games was actually watching the highlights. So you were actually, you felt like you were kind of at a football game. So not a fan of these. Any other type of games? I think you've probably covered it. The RPGs, Football Manager games. I've never been into even football games, FIFA and that kind of stuff. The last arcade football game that I played or really enjoyed was probably the original Pro Evolution Soccer on the PlayStation 1. Was it Pro Evolution Soccer 2 it might have been called? I can't remember. that was probably the last game that I really enjoyed. I just found that subsequent games like Pro Evolution Soccer and all your FIFAs, they're too complicated. There's just way too much for my liking, so I really don't touch them. But anyway, listen, Bat, thank you again, sir. And secondly, down the rabbit hole, Kevin. Hi, Alan. For the Friday Waffle, comedy is difficult to pull off in gaming. What games have made you actually laugh out loud? I've mentioned this before, Kev. One of the games that I still laugh at out loud when I play it is Super Pipeline 2. It's got these little intermissions. When you complete a level, you get a little cartoon type intermission thing, and it cracks me up every time. I always laugh. Even now if I play it, I just think it's so hilarious. Really good fun. Any other games that I've laughed at? I can't say I have. No, I think that's probably. I was never into Monkey Island or any of that. I know people talk about Monkey Island and it was the Day of the Tentacle, all these kind of point and clicky type games. I've never been into these at all, so I know they've got really good humour, but I was never really into them, Kev. So no, I would probably say Super Pipeline 2 is the only one I can think of. Number 2, the popularity of the game of football has always eluded me. I know you quite like sensible soccer, but how about modern games? If you were offered to play FIFA, UEFA or PES, which would you choose? I've actually just talked about that, Kev. None of them. I'm not interested. I don't have any love for modern football games. Too complicated. Give me Pro Evolution on the PlayStation or sensible soccer. You know, I want my games to be fun. I don't want offside rules and all that bollocks. So nah, I wouldn't choose any of them, Kev. And thirdly, I saw someone play a PS2 emulator on a Samsung Galaxy S8, but it needs a lot of work. Would you ever try a recent console like that on a phone emulator? Sega Saturn is as recent as I would go, maybe Dreamcast. I must admit, Kev, when I first got my mobile phones, the first thing I would do is put all these emulators onto it. Now I've got emulators on so many different machines, I've got no interest in playing emulators on my phone. I don't like the touch controls. I don't like the touch and the screen controls, you know. And I've got a handheld. I mean, I've got my Nvidia Shield portable for my sort of portable gaming. So, nah, I'm really not interested in playing emulators because they don't have the right controls. And to me, that would kill it stone dead. So, anyway, Kev, thanks very much for your questions as usual, mate. And finally, Lurch666444. Question for the Friday Waffle. Do you know about or have you played the new C64 homebrew game Platman Worlds? Now, I had a quick look at that game after I saw the question. I'd never heard of it. And is it an indie game? Is it one of these games that was like on the PlayStation 4 or something? You kind of run about and you jump. You can you've got to avoid things. So you run along and then you jump to the top of the screen, you run along the ceiling, then you fall down. So you're basically going between, you know, the gravity. You're going between the ground and the ceiling. Looks quite interesting. So is that actually based on like an original game? I say I've never actually heard of it until obviously I read your question, but it does look really, really nice. So anyway, again, thank you for your question. So listen guys, I think, just got one wee thing to do. Quick pick up. I got this. Now this is quite hard to come by. You do go for rather a lot of money, and this is a Dreamcast arcade stick. Now, I got this for a very, very, very good price on eBay. I actually thought, it's broken because, you know, what I paid for this was probably about half of what the rest of them were going for. So looks really, really nice. That'll be excellent for my Dreamcast shooters. So anyway, listen guys, that is it. That is me done and dusted for another Friday. I'm weltering big style here, and I'm going to go down to get a nice cup of tea. So as usual, thank you to all the continued support. It's just awesome. The amount of comments I'm getting now in my videos is fantastic, and like I said, it makes this all worthwhile, you know. So thank you very, very much. That is it. Please feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and as usual guys, thank you very much for watching.